Welcome to SpectraCamm, Film Fanatics. Today we're diving into one of the most visually electrifying thrillers of the decade, The Night Caller. On the surface, this is everything we love about modern cinema, a sleek, stylish psychological game between a late-night radio host and an anonymous caller who knows too much. Director Clara Vance delivers a masterclass in tension, with neon-drenched cityscapes, hypnotic camera movements, and performances that crackle with energy. The premise alone hooks you. Successful radio personality Leo Mercer's world unravels when a mysterious voice on the other end of the line begins revealing secrets no one should know. It's a cat-and-mouse thriller wrapped in gorgeous cinematography, featuring two powerhouse actors at the top of their game. The film doesn't just entertain, it immerses you in a world of shadows and light where every frame feels meticulously crafted for maximum impact. This is cinema as pure spectacle, and we're just getting started.
Beneath that glossy surface lies something far more unsettling. The Night Caller isn't really about phone games or cat and mouse chases. It's about the profound isolation of modern existence. Leo Mercer sits in his soundproof booth, a literal and metaphorical bubble separating him from genuine human connection. The anonymous caller isn't just a plot device. He's the manifestation of Leo's own repressed guilt, the voice of every ignored cry for help that echoes through our disconnected lives. The film explores how technology has created new forms of loneliness, where we broadcast our personas to millions yet remain fundamentally unknown. That existential dread permeates every scene. The haunting silence between calls, the empty streets outside the studio window, the way Leo's professional charm masks a soul crumbling from within. This isn't merely a thriller about secrets being exposed. It's a meditation on the price of success in a world that values performance over authenticity, where our most intimate conversations happen with strangers in the dark.
Let's talk numbers and names, because The Night Caller is a triumph on every measurable level. Directed by the visionary Clara Vance, whose previous work on Echo Chamber showed her knack for psychological depth, this film represents her commercial breakthrough. The casting is perfection. Oscar-nominated Michael Rhodes brings charismatic intensity to Leo Mercer, while relative newcomer Julian Carter delivers a chilling, nuanced performance as the mysterious caller that announced his arrival as a major talent. With a production budget of $35 million, modest for a thriller of this scale, the film grossed over $280 million worldwide, becoming one of the highest-grossing independent productions of the year. Critics praised its technical achievements, with particular acclaim for cinematographer Sophia Chen's innovative use of color and shadow. The film scored 87% on Rotten Tomatoes, with the New York Times calling it a masterclass in sustained tension and Variety celebrating its visual audacity. This isn't just a good film, it's a certified success story that proves artistic vision and commercial appeal can coexist beautifully.
Behind those glowing numbers lies a different story, one of creative struggle and psychological toll. Early in production, studio executives pushed for a more conventional thriller structure, demanding rewrites that would simplify the psychological complexity. Director Clara Vance fought to preserve the film's existential themes, resulting in tense negotiations that delayed filming for months. Cinematographer Sophia Chen later revealed in interviews that achieving the film's distinctive visual style required grueling 16-hour days, with the crew working in near-total darkness to capture the specific quality of artificial light she envisioned. Michael Rhodes, known for his immersive method approach, reportedly struggled to shake off Leo Mercer's isolation between takes, telling one journalist he carried that booth's silence home every night. The film's most haunting sequences, those long static shots of Leo alone with his thoughts, weren't just artistic choices, but reflections of the production's own emotional landscape. What appears on screen as polished perfection emerged from months of creative conflict, personal sacrifice, and the kind of artistic obsession that blurs the line between dedication and self-destruction.
Now let's celebrate pure cinema. The visual climax occurs during the film's breathtaking chase sequence through the neon-lit financial district. As Leo finally leaves his booth to confront the caller, the city transforms into a living labyrinth of light and shadow. Cinematographer Sophia Chen uses practical neon signs, reflections in rain-slick streets, and dizzying overhead shots to create a sensory overload that mirrors Leo's psychological unraveling. The technical precision here is staggering. A continuous 5-minute tracking shot that follows Leo through crowded streets, up fire escapes, and across rooftops, all while maintaining perfect focus and composition. The color palette shifts from cool blues to violent reds as the tension escalates, with each light source feeling like a character in itself. This isn't just filmmaking, it's visual poetry in motion. The sequence required months of planning, custom-built camera rigs, and perfect synchronization between actors and crew. When Leo finally corners the figure he's been pursuing, the reveal happens in a burst of strobe lighting that's both disorienting and visually spectacular. This is why we go to the movies.
The true emotional climax arrives not with chase scenes, but in stillness. It's the moment when Leo, having finally identified his tormentor, realizes the caller isn't a stranger, but a former listener he once dismissed, on air during a moment of professional arrogance. The scene unfolds in near silence. Just the hum of studio equipment and the ragged sound of two broken men breathing. There are no dramatic revelations or violent confrontations, only the devastating recognition that this entire psychological war grew from a single moment of casual cruelty. The caller's monologue here is a masterpiece of tragic writing. You told me my pain was boring, that there were people with real problems. So I became a problem you couldn't ignore. The tragedy isn't in the stalking or the threats, but in the realization that our smallest dismissals can metastasize into existential wounds. This scene exposes the film's core truth. We're all just voices in the dark, desperately signaling for recognition, and sometimes the most violent response emerges not from malice, but from the profound loneliness of being unheard.
Beyond its thrills, The Night Caller leaves a legacy of genuine inspiration. It demonstrates that ambitious, artistically driven cinema can achieve mainstream success, encouraging studios to greenlight more daring projects. The film has sparked important conversations about mental health awareness, with several organizations using its themes to promote crisis hotline services. Its visual style has influenced a new generation of filmmakers, with its neon aesthetic appearing in everything from music videos to television series. For audiences, the film offers a powerful message about resilience. Leo's journey from victim to someone who confronts his own complicity shows that growth often requires facing uncomfortable truths. The film's success has elevated everyone involved, particularly providing opportunities for women in technical roles, with cinematographer Sophia Chen now considered one of the industry's most sought-after visual artists. The Night Caller proves that entertainment can be both commercially successful and intellectually substantial, lighting the way for more films that trust audiences with complexity while delivering unforgettable cinematic experiences.
The film's darker legacy serves as a grim mirror to our technological age. In presenting communication as a weapon, it reflects how our connected world has perfected new forms of isolation. The caller's transformation from vulnerable listener to psychological predator illustrates how easily pain can curdle into pathology when met with indifference. This isn't just a story about two men. It's an allegory for our collective failure to truly hear one another. The film suggests that our professional personas, like Leo's radio voice, create barriers more impenetrable than any soundproof booth. Its most despairing implication is that recognition often comes too late, only after damage has become irreversible. In an era where we're constantly performing for invisible audiences, the night caller questions whether authentic connection remains possible or if we're all destined to become either the dismissive voice or the desperate listener in an endless, lonely dialogue. The film doesn't offer solutions, only the warning that every ignored cry contains the seed of future catastrophe.
Final verdict? You absolutely must experience The Night Caller. Whether you're a casual viewer seeking edge-of-your-seat entertainment or a film enthusiast craving visual innovation, this movie delivers on every level. It's the complete package: stellar performances, breathtaking cinematography, intelligent writing, and direction that balances artistry with pulse-pounding tension. Watch it for that incredible chase sequence alone, but stay for the emotional journey that will leave you thinking long after the credits roll. Support films like this that push boundaries while delivering crowd-pleasing excitement. If you enjoyed this analysis, help us create more content by hitting that like button. It really supports the channel. Subscribe to SpectraCamm and turn on notifications so you never miss our deep dives into cinema's most fascinating works. Most importantly, join the conversation in the comments below. What did you think of The Night Caller? What films should we analyze next? Your engagement fuels this community of film lovers. Now go watch, experience, and celebrate this cinematic achievement.
In the end, The Night Caller leaves us with a quiet, haunting question. How many voices are we ignoring right now? The film's true horror isn't in its thriller elements, but in its suggestion that we're all participating in this same broken system, broadcasting our curated selves while failing to truly listen to others. That final shot of Leo, alone in his booth after everything has changed, reminds us that resolution doesn't always bring peace. Sometimes understanding arrives too late to prevent the damage. The caller's voice continues echoing long after the film ends, a ghost in our own mental machinery, asking if we're really hearing the people in our lives or just waiting for our turn to speak. In an age of constant connection, the film suggests our greatest poverty might be attention, our most valuable currency, gone to waste. Perhaps the real night caller isn't a character in a movie, but the part of ourselves we silence every day.